All right. We'll do a mic check.
All right.
For anybody that's in here, this is an experiment. So I think we're live. All right. So we are using my phone, my iPhone. So again, this is all very experimental, but I'm very happy to be here. We'll give you guys just a little bit to hop in here. Let me like, share, and subscribe, or throw that out there anyways. Here we go.
These smartphones have come a long way, you know?
I know, man.
Such incredible technology. You didn't even have to tell them that, and they've probably been like, man, all this fancy equipment that Ty's using.
Yeah, right. I totally didn't have to rely on anybody else for help or anything at all. Shout out not to Nick, the owner here at Odd Soul. So we're gonna get this going. We're gonna have to get Nick in on this too.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
All right. Again, if you guys are hopping in here, tell us if you can hear us. Because again, we did a mic check earlier. Let's see here. We did a mic check earlier, but that was not live and on YouTube or anything. That was just Nick and I trying to get these microphones set up. We'll go through our proper introductions. All right. Again, we better lock that sound down. And all right, there's chat. All right, hey Ty, Todd Cooper. Hey, we can see and hear you. William Watkins says, turn your phone sideways. Can't. Unfortunately, we tried that. It did not work. Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is Tuss Talk with Ty. It is the typically, which would be our Monday after show. But I'm live from the Odd Soul Bar and Pizzeria on Emma Street here in Springdale. I'm joined by none other than the Black Apple co-founder, Lee Orpin. Lee.
What's up, man?
Nice to have you on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You were kind enough to bring a Black Apple beverage that I have not yet tried. This is the hibiscus cider. You guys can't, I'm sure a lot of you already know, because a lot of you, every time I do these drinks, they're always telling me, Ty, you need to try Black Apple version whatever. And because you guys have so many good products.
There's a lot of seasonals out there, yeah, for sure.
What is the most popular? Is it this bad boy right here?
Oh, you're gonna ask me my favorite child, huh?
Your favorite?
Like, on any of them, it's tough to pick that. So
yeah,
you know what? I think I do drink the hibiscus more than anything. If you asked Leo's favorite pick, I would definitely go hibiscus.
Look at that.
I mean, yeah, it's just visually stunning. I mean, for your viewers out there, it kind of pours that Razorback red. You know, very, very approachable, very light, easy, very well balanced.
I've never had it, so here we go. This is like one of very few that I have not had. Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. That's tasty. So yet again, another one. I'm gonna have to buy another case or another 4-pack.
Yeah, I approve. Yeah.
All right, we gotta go through the sponsor reads. You guys know, a lot of you know, Odd Soul is the newest sponsor to Tuss Talk with Ty here on YouTube. So special thanks to them, Nick, the owner here, for allowing us to do this. Also, a special shout out. Pull up my other sponsors here. Drake Service Overhead, the garage door company. They offer same-day services, free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, hundreds of 5-star reviews. Give them a call today if you need repair done to your garage door or if you need to replace it, 501-244-3667. And, of course, the Apex Tattoo Studio, located in Rogers, Arkansas, 615 West Oak Street, 72756. Always throw the area code in there. I don't know why. It's so unnecessary, but I do it. Give them a call today. Get your appointment set up, 479-278-2694. All right. So the reason why we're here, not only to check out this beautiful establishment, the Odd Soul, again on Emma Street, but we're here to talk a little football, again with the co-founder of Black Apple, again, Lee Orpin. I got his card. Right there it is.
It is.
So this is your baby, or this is the one of the most popular drinks of your line.
Absolutely.
You want to tell us a little bit about how Black Apple started? Just for people who, I know everyone's heard of you guys, but just to give them a little backstory.
Yeah. So we started back in 2015. That's when we opened the cidery. So we're about going on 8 years now, being Arkansas's still somehow only hard apple cidery.
Yeah.
So everything we make is apple based. So unlike beer that has like malt, hops, water, everything we do apple based. So it's all naturally gluten free, and we have kind of a clean, unadulterated product. So we don't add any like sulfites or any other preservatives in the beverage itself, which you see a lot in like wines and stuff.
Gluten free.
Yeah.
Very important. We talked about that before, because you can only get that in wine and in the apple cider, in your black apple cider, in the hard cider. I'm a big fan of the raspberry. Again, I love it. But my viewers know I talk a lot about, like, if there's a raspberry dessert on the menu, I'm going to get it.
Oh, I can't blame you there. Can't blame you there.
It doesn't matter, man. I'm going to try it out. I'd probably drive my wife crazy with that. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Anyone that's new here. Let's also, so you have an on-location site on Emma Street.
Yeah, we do. That's our main spot. That's our tap room.
And you brew here. Everything is
everything's right there in downtown Springdale, just right down the road from the Odd Soul.
Yeah, not far. Emma Street's growing, and as someone who's been here since '09, it's amazing to see, and it's good to see for Springdale. That kind of growth in the area, but also to see Emma Street just kind of blossom over the years. Because, like you said, you saw your first tumbleweed going down Emma Street.
Wasn't a lot of activity, no.
That's a true story. I can verify this. This was a dead part of town, and it's cool to see that it's these little local businesses. Again, you guys know I want to support the local businesses, and especially in this area. So, So, reading chat here. Audio is good, so that's good to hear.
Oh, that's great.
If you guys have any questions or comments for Black Apple, for Odd Soul, anything, fire them away. I'm trying my best to read chat here. Again, can't turn phone sideways. Wish I could. I can't. YouTube wouldn't allow me to do it. After listening to Coach Sam Pittman presser, should we expect more shakeup on the defensive staff? All right, you are a U of A grad.
I am.
And you're a pretty big Razorback fan, and you're very knowledgeable. Talking to you before we went live. What are your first, since Sam's been here, since the get-go, what are kind of your thoughts on what he's done at Arkansas so far?
Well, I think he had a hot start. We know when he got here, his limited experience as a head coach at a major Power 5 program. So what got people excited was that he was the top offensive line coach in the country, hands down, and his recruiting prowess.
Yes.
And I feel like that's something that he is going to definitely lean on coming into what seems to be a spiral right now.
Well, okay, so speaking of the spiral,
Yeah.
a part of that is the transfer portal.
Right.
And NIL too is something that's shaking things up quite a bit. And then today they make their head coaching hire, Travis Williams from Central Florida. So that happened while we were getting ready. We kind of had an idea that was going to happen sooner than later, but so we have that. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on him?
I think the timing had to be now.
Yeah.
Like they had to get it done if anything, to stop this mass exodus on the defensive side, but also the recruits. The new tight ends coach was also very well timed.
Yeah.
But I think you're really putting all your chips on recruiting, because neither of these guys, when Barry Odom came in, there was already a reputation, there was already experience, he was already kind of known for what he was. He was a top defensive mind, and he had that head coaching experience. I think the guys that you're bringing in now, you're going heavy after recruiting. Yeah. Which I think that is going to be the way to stem just some of this transition, if you will.
Something that we did a Discord live last night. For anybody who missed it, you missed I think a pretty good little hour and a half long little thing that we did, but something that kind of comes to mind. You look at these proven proven defensive coordinators who've come in. John Chavis, Chief comes to mind, right? You can go back to Rob Smith, and then of course most recently Barry Odom, and all these guys have struggled. And there seems to be, one common denominator amongst them all, and that's that Arkansas has just struggled recruiting on that side of the ball.
Absolutely.
And the talent gap is pretty wide between Arkansas's defense and what everybody else has to offer and what they're going up against in this league. I kind of feel like Travis, maybe he's the answer to that.
Yeah.
He could be bringing 2 4-stars with him. We know that the twins, they've got a twin brothers. I had their names pulled up here. They recently decommitted from Central Florida. Maybe they're coming with him. Scroll up here.
Well, and then familiarity with the SEC. You know.
Oh, yeah,
Signed
yeah.
with Auburn. Like,
Played here.
yep.
Was an assistant here. Sam Pittman talked a little bit about, well, I say here, in the league, in the conference. Sam Pittman kind of mentioned a lot of that today on their press conference. There they are, right there. There they are.
There they are.
Andrew Harris, who's a 4-star, currently committed, 6'1", 200 pounds. He is I'm pretty sure he's a unanimous 4-star out of, Altamonte Springs, Florida. Is that how you pronounce that?
I mean, that's
pretty close.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the best guess I have. Yes. Yes.
So you have Michael Harris, 6'1", 190 pound, who's listed at linebacker, and then 6'1", 200 pound Andrew Harris. So they're very similar in size and frame. These are 2 guys that just recently decommitted at UCF. I'm just throwing it out there. Be nice to bring them up.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like, linebacker depth would be incredible. It would also be nice to get some of the secondary that was already depleted.
Yeah.
You know, replace some of these stars that are on their way out.
We were pretty hard on the secondary this year, and some of that misplaced on, I think, certain personnel, the staff, and kind of looking back on it, they ended the season relatively effective in the secondary. I mean, it wasn't perfect, wasn't great, but we saw improvement. Hudson Clark moved over to middle safety. Dwight McLaughlin doing his thing, and of course Quincy McAdoo, who was brought in to play wide receiver, coming from Otis Kirk. Otis told us that while on Hogville, on a live show on Hogville, he said he was also offered by several schools to play corner. So he had committable offers to play at some other P5 schools at corner, but we took him at wide receiver and we moved him over to corner, and that had a huge impact. So I kind of hope, and you're talking about retaining the staff, I kind of hope they keep some of these guys.
Yeah, I do too.
They've got their hands full. There's no doubt. And anytime you have this kind of mass exodus, that's something too that you'd like to plug that hole.
It also makes you wonder, with all the players that went into the transfer portal as this coaching staff was starting to leave, if you'll see any of them come back with the new staff installed. You see that every now and then, especially, I mean, transfer portal is still, even as long as it's been here, it's still kind of new in that sense. But like, maybe there's a chance that with some of these hires, with some of these reaching out, that maybe some of those guys will withdraw their names and come back. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out, but I think it's going to all lean on recruiting. Tony
Brown says, I would love if Williams let Sure go, be a DC at UNLV, but keep Deke Adams and Bowman. I kind of want to keep the linebacker coach, if I'm being honest. I mean, my gosh, Drew Sanders is an All-American, potential first-round draft pick. Sure, he inherited him, but he also recruited him.
That's true.
He also put him in position to be successful. Let's not forget the job that he did with a banged-up bumper pool. And then, of course, Chris Pooh Paul.
Absolutely.
Who's a freshman All-American. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to disagree, Tony. Tony, you and I, we disagree from time to time, but that's okay because you're still a viewer here, and you know I love you. But, yeah, I hope they keep Sure.
It's going to be tough, though, I mean, because the reason he came, following Odom here, real good chance that he may not be here. And also the DC maybe does want to bring on one or two of his guys. I mean, that's real typical when you bring it on a coordinator.
Again, guys, for those of you coming in late, we are with Black Apple co-founder, none other than Leo Orpin. I have to have your last name in front of me because I'm like, I want to say something else, not Lee Orpin. I want to call it something else. But Leo Orpin, co-founder of Black Apple. Again, you guys have seen their product. Walmart, they're on tap everywhere. It's probably, I would argue, the most popular cider in Northwest Arkansas. We're drinking their hibiscus, and it is fantastic. This is honestly a really good drink. So, yeah, excited. I think we got a couple extra back there, too.
Yeah, we do. And we're on tap here at the Odd Soul.
They're on tap at the Odd Soul. Again, located on Emma Street here in Springdale. Hopefully they'll open up the rest of Emma Street down here.
Oh, it's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of cool. I mean, if you can get past the construction, like they're redoing the greenway down
Yeah.
here. It's going to look amazing when it's done, but it
Yeah.
is worth the trip to
Yeah.
get here. I actually am a regular here personally.
Yeah.
And I love coming here for like trivia nights.
Yes.
Like almost every day they have some sort of happy hour special.
Yeah.
Pizza's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
highly recommend.
Dudley Dawson is a regular here. Dudley Dawson comes in from Hogville. Ironically, the first time I ever met him in person, I had just been hired on at Hogville. I had never met him in person. I came here to pick up a pie. I forgot what my wife ordered. I got the pepperoni because it's fantastic. But I run into Dudley. He's sitting right here. It's the first time I ever met the guy, and I was just hired on at Hogville. Small world, but it helps that you're in a place like this. I think it's a staple in Springdale.
Absolutely.
So along with your beverage, sir.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Any more questions? Again, you guys feel free to fire away. Make sure you like the stream, share the content. I was unable to share across social media, so I know a lot of the audience will come in later. But I do appreciate if you guys would like, share, subscribe. Check out the links provided for you down below. What used to be called the description box. If you want to join Patreon, you want to become a member of the Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon, that's there. We're at 40 people right now. If you want to join our Discord, that link is available. I think we're closing in on maybe 600 people there. So really fun. A lot of active people there and having a lot of fun there. Thoughts on Micah Teese? Did he just decommit? No. Did he really? See, this is the joy of doing these things live. Are you serious?
We were expecting a lot of recruiting news coming out of the weekend. I think what these next few days from some of the transfer portal guys that they had over the weekend, because that's where Pittman traditionally has done well, straight out the gate, getting some of these key transfers to come in.
Yeah.
From day one, he's been really good at that. So now I'm curious to see, like, can he replace some of this?
Well, there it is.
There.
That's him. He says, first and foremost, I want to thank God for blessing me with these amazing recruitment opportunities. Without him, none of this would be possible. Let's see. I would also like to thank Coach Pittman, Coach Guyton, and the entire Arkansas staff for putting time and effort. Yeah, he's decommitted. I am decommitting from Arkansas. I will be signing on Wednesday. He doesn't say where he's signing, but he's gonna be in the early signing class. I think he just went on a recruiting visit to A&M. I believe that's where he's going to wind up, is Texas A&M. Yeah, that's a blow. That's one of those names again. The man himself, Otis Kirk, said Micah Teese is a flight risk. He also called before the season started. He and I had a conversation again on Hogville Net YouTube, that he thought Ham would be someone that would decommit, and you saw what happened. So he's been on top of it. So Arkansas did lose Micah Teese. Yeah, SEC Mike is now reporting on it. That's a pretty big blow.
It is.
Well, I appreciate you. This is why I love the live chat too, man. They keep this thing going. Yo, Scott Swindle, how you doing, man? Got the bag from A&M, then he'll leave next offseason.
He'll come back around.
That's kind of how it works now, though, man.
Isn't that a backup quarterback situation now?
Yeah, it kind of is. Jacoby Criswell.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, Alex, thanks for that, man. That's a pretty big blow. That's unfortunate. Every time I've done one of these, well, I say every time, it seems like a lot of times I go live, and then someone in chat's like, oh, did you see so-and-so just decommitted? Or so-and-so was just fired. Or, so-and-so didn't enjoy his visit. He just went public with decommitting or whatever. It happens all the time.
Breaking news for us, too. That's great.
That's true. Yeah. We get a live reaction to it.
Thanks, guys.
When Texas and Oklahoma come into the SEC, recruiting is going to get even harder, says E. Clay Thompson. So there's something for you. Oklahoma and Texas coming into the conference. I'm not sure what to make of that. I don't know how that helps Arkansas.
I don't know if it hurts, though. And this is my thought, is that, yes, if you put it on paper, Oklahoma and Texas coming into the conference, I could see it making hard, but they're not having any trouble getting recruits now. They're such a powerhouse. Like, they're constantly in the top 10, worst years, down years, top 15. Like, they're always crushing it. So coming in the SEC, they're still going to get the recruits that they want.
I don't know that it changes a lot. I mean, will it have an effect on certain prospects? Has Arkansas beaten out other schools, maybe because they're in the SEC and Oklahoma and Texas aren't? I know Katron Jackson, of course, he's in the transfer portal, but out of high school, he committed to Arkansas, and Texas was really on him. Texas really wanted him, and he chose Arkansas, And a part of that was because they're in the SEC. Well, now Texas is going to join, and Oklahoma's in. So
I think it'll be a little different than like when Texas A&M and Missouri came, because like I think the difference is that Texas A&M, before they came to the SEC, they weren't like recruiting powerhouses.
No, they weren't.
And then they leveraged the SEC, being the Texas school from the SEC, and they, you know, the rest is history. We see what they do in recruiting now. So I don't see Texas and Oklahoma's transition being similar in that way, where their recruiting is just going to all of a sudden
right, because they're already kind of up there.
Yeah.
Sure, their growth is not shouldn't be too substantial. Will it help them over time? Probably, yeah.
But our competitive advantage of being, we're in the SEC and they're not, I definitely get where you guys are coming from on that. Yeah.
So speaking of, and I want to go back to Black Apple for just a second.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything new coming out anytime soon, or anything you're kind of working on?
Oh man, yeah, we are actually looking to change the lineup a little bit going into next year. We had a series that we did that you could find allocated for a limited time. It was called our Harvest Series.
Okay.
And we rotated through just amazing flavors, like really popular, like strawberry, peach, blackberry, like just your traditional harvest time flavors.
Yeah.
We're going to be making those year-round come spring next
Look at
year
that.
in cans.
Look at that. So you Black Apple fans,
There you go.
You're getting some.
This is why you subscribe.
That's right. That's right. This is why you subscribe. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. Again, I don't know that I've ever had, and again, I'm not saying that just simply because you're sitting here. One of the reasons why I was pretty excited when Nick said, we can bring Leo on from Black Apple, I was like, bro, make that happen, dude. Yeah. And again, shout out to Nick, owner of Oddsoul, making this all happen. I don't know that I've had some of the cucumber.
Cucumber mint was one that we've done before.
Fascinating flavor.
Oh, yeah.
And again, raspberry, I've already talked about that quite a bit. Raspberry is my favorite. This is definitely going to break into that mold, I think. This is really good. So again, I highly recommend you guys, if you haven't already, you can get this you guys are everywhere, right?
It'd be easier to say where we're not. Yeah.
Where you're not.
Yeah, we're like every major retailer, liquor store, I mean, anywhere that sells packaged alcohol, you are more than likely going to find Black Apple, especially Hibiscus, because it is our flagship.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how much time you had. Do you want to get into some more of this recruiting stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
I got a whole segment here on recruiting. Jaden Ham is expected to KU. He did decommit. 6'4", 225-pound, 4-star tight end. That was kind of expected. Again, that's another one Otis Kirk called. Then they lost 3-star defensive lineman Stephen Johnson. This one was a little bit out of nowhere for me. Flipped to Auburn, 6'4", 320-pound defensive lineman. I've got it noted there. Mike Catisse visited A&M. He is now decommitted from Arkansas. Rumors floating around. Someone in chat brought up Shamar Easter. Man. So supposedly he had stripped his bio either on Instagram or Twitter somewhere of all Arkansas stuff. I'm going to tell you guys, there's oftentimes an overreaction to that. Does it mean nothing? No, it could mean something. But then I heard today he popped Arkansas stuff back on his bio. So again, I can't verify that because I haven't seen it, but that's something to kind of keep in mind. DJ Metcalf, and this is something you're going to like to hear. The 6'1", 185-pound safety committed to Arkansas, told Rivals, I think it was Mason Choate that actually posted this from Rivals, that he is a lock for the Arkansas Razorbacks. That's a 4-star safety.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, you got to have any sort of good news at this point, because I think the thing that's disconcerting for most Hog fans right now is that it's a spread. It's not like, Odom left and then all defensive recruits are leaving. It's like it's all over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dominic Bowman. Killing it. I know, again, it's kind of something you're supposed to be anti-Dominic Bowman because they struggled so much in the secondary this year, and it has to be on his shoulders.
Sure.
And yet, Quincy McAdoo, the turnaround there is incredible. Dwight McLaughlin got as the season went on. The move to Hudson to middle safety was probably more of a Barry Odom thing. And I'm sure McAdoo going to corner was also a Barry Odom thing. With the job that he did with Quincy McAdoo to flip the switch on like that, to go from playing wide receiver. I was at fall camp. Okay. I was there. I was there every day through fall camp except one day. He practiced with the wide receivers. For him to just flip over to corner and have an impact as quickly as he did, you do have to give credit to Quincy McAdoo. Absolutely. He's the athlete on the field. Dominic Bowman had to get him prepared.
Absolutely. Well, and you hear on the offensive and defensive lines talk about gelling. a lot where it's like, man, you hear it all the time where it's like, how many games is it going to take for this new line or these new people to acclimate? That secondary was a rotating door all season long. And then to your point, seeing the silver lining and some of the development, new positions and like people having to learn that on the fly, like they have to gel as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right. And people are confirming he did talking about Easter, putting his stuff back in his bio. Make sure, again, you guys like, share, subscribe. Anyone who's just joining, again, this is Leo Orpin, co-founder of the one and only Black Apple. We are inside the Odd Soul, located on Emma Street here in the fantastic Springdale.
That's it.
You and I were talking about the history of Springdale, and this is home, and the different, the evolution of the city over the years, over the decades is quite something. But it's nice to have places like this nestled right here on Emma Street.
Absolutely, and it's not far. So like most of the listeners, I imagine, super familiar with Fayetteville.
Yeah.
And we're not even 10, 15 minutes away, but it is kind of a nice little oasis. So for you guys who may get overwhelmed going to Dixon Street on the weekend or something like that,
the older crowd.
Like there is some really cool, unique places here, right here in downtown Springdale. We're just north of Fayetteville. It's not far at all.
Yeah, and Emma does have. You're right. That's an interesting comparison too. Dixon Street is a little more fast paced.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of college kids. Now that I'm approaching my 40s, and not that Emma Street, there's places for the young too. I would argue Odd Soul is one of those places.
Yes.
Any age can come in here and have a lot of fun, but there is a little bit more laid back. Part of or what makes Emma Street kind of cool is it's a little more laid back.
Absolutely.
You don't want all the chaos of Emma Street or of Dixon Street. Austin Foster says, "Yo, is Black Apple available in South Arkansas? I've never seen it down here."
There are places in South Arkansas. When you get more into some of the rural parts of the state, like you're almost going to have to find that one retail liquor store, that one Walmart or something, just whatever has it. And any of those stores that you get can pick it up.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're in most of them, which I guess it just depends on what part of South Arkansas.
He's in Austin's in Star City.
Star City, okay. I would have to look back at the map, but I'm pretty certain we have some spots down there. We'll get that information.
You mean you don't have that in your brain?
Oh
just
my God!
Stored away?
Just so crazy, right?
Oh man. Let's see what else we got here on the old on the script here. By the way, talking about Bowman, for the anti-Bowman crowd, you do have Jalen Braxton, who is committed, 4-star corner. Dallas Young, everyone that I've talked to who've seen him play out of Gardendale, Alabama. Really excited about him. TJ Metcalf, who only 247 has him listed as a 3-star. Rivals has him as a 4-star. I'm not sure what ESPN has him rated at. And then he's got Christian Ford under his belt and RJ Johnson. So these are all guys that he's committed or has committed, at least 2 4-stars among that group. So yeah, again, I would argue let's keep Bowman around. Razorbacks in the portal. We did have someone ask about this. Isaiah Nichols, Razorback defensive line.
It's such high hopes.
Yeah.
Like he was going to be the anchor. Jalen Catalon, like some of these stars that were clearly going to be starters, it just leaves you scratching your head.
Yeah, it does. And that's a blow too, because he would have been available for the bowl game, and now you don't have him for the bowl game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to the youngsters. It's going to be up to, Cam Ball, redshirt freshman who had some moments, and some other guys around them. Torrin Carter not available for the bowl game. You're hoping that, maybe we could sub out Isaiah Nichols for Torrin Carter, who's missed all year. If I remember right, it was a torn ACL injury. I can't remember, but he will not be available, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, Isaiah Nichols rumored to go into the portal. I don't know that I actually got that verified. I looked at the portal this morning. I didn't see him on 247 yet, but I also could have overlooked. I was in a little bit of a rush this morning.
I thought I read that over the weekend that he was official, but I never verified that.
Yeah, the portal giveth and the portal taketh.
That's true.
That is the most college football thing to say right now about the portal. Just how it's you either live by it or you die by it or both. And hopefully Sam Pittman and his staff, the new defensive coordinator, the new tight end coach, who was also introduced today. Hopefully they get it all figured out.
Yeah, they need to take a little more.
Yeah. Well, the cap now it was 7. Now it's expanded. You can fill out your roster with as many transfer portal players as you want. I'm not sure if that's wise. I don't know if we need a cap there or not because it's going to have an impact on high school recruiting.
That's true.
So
That's true.
A lot of things to consider there, but hopefully Sam has the right guys in position to take advantage.
Yeah, typically the visits are indicators, and I haven't noticed as many visits
Yeah.
from transfers.
Yeah.
And so, like, you see that on the basketball side, right?
Yeah.
Where, like, the basketball team, I think one of the reasons they recruit so well is
Yeah.
they're constantly keeping that funnel full by
Oh, my gosh.
pouring visitors into campus. And
Yeah.
that was one thing that I expected from Pittman on this. And he is getting some transfers in, but, like, there's not as many visiting as I assumed there would be with all the people that are leaving.
Yeah, and hopefully now with the tight end coach, and of course we know he was out on the recruiting trail as soon as he got here. I'm not sure he even stepped foot on campus. I'm not sure he even was in Fayetteville. He probably landed in Fayetteville or maybe X&A. I'm assuming Drake Field, and was already on the recruiting trail.
Oh, yeah.
Right off the plane. So we'll see what he does there. But also, you could lose 2 tight end commits. You've already lost 1. Sounds like Luke Hawes. By the way, it was announced he's going to sign on Wednesday. His high school published that tweet, I think yesterday. The expectation is he's still sticking around for Arkansas, so that's a great sign. But then now with these tight ends, with Trey Knox out, and now you've probably lost at least one, maybe both of the other 2 tight ends. Do they go to the portal for a tight end? And that was already kind of on the table. So I think that's going to be something worth keeping an eye on.
Well, they had a number. Like, what was it? It was at least 3. They had a lot of tight ends committed going into this, and we got a pretty dominant tight end coach. You look at his portfolio, and I think I read Zach Ertz and several other pros that are like just absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
And you're still losing some of those tight ends, and part of me wonders how much of that has to do with Kendall Briles' system and the fact that Trey Knox did leave.
Yeah.
Because Trey Knox, if he would have stayed, I think would have been in line to really get a lot more reps, but there wasn't ever a lot of plays focused around the tight end position.
And there were times too, while at the game, you don't see it on television, but you see it when you're at the stadium. Knox would be wide open for an easy check down throw, which would have been a first down. Instead, KJ either keeps it and runs, or he dumps it off elsewhere on the other side of the field. Maybe that played a role. I mean, I know the tight end coach situation definitely played a huge role. But you kind of wonder if maybe he felt like the direction of the offense was just didn't focus enough on him. And that's fair. If he wants to make it in the NFL, he's got to have film.
Absolutely.
And you gotta be targeted more often. Let's see. I can't say yet, but get ready for some big news coming down. Why even mention it, Will?
Come on.
What are you doing, man? Why even mention it?
Could have done a hashtag hint of some sort.
Anything.
Let us guess.
This class is falling apart. It's going to be Vandy level by Wednesday.
Oh man.
This is the dark side of
I love it.
Chat can get a little gruesome. Some of these guys can get really down.
Well, there's not a lot of optimism out there. That's why it's nice to hear people that are like, "Hey, I'm a solid, lock in for Arkansas."
Yeah.
We take any silver lining we can get right now. It'd be nice for some of these visitors this week to publicly come out and be like, "Hey, Arkansas won me over."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it feels like anything you get out of the portal at this point is going to be a victory.
Yeah,
I mean, it really does feel that way, and it's hard to really gauge. There's a big difference in recruiting a kid from high school and recruiting a kid from college. You feel a little bit better about a guy from college, a guy coming from maybe he was a stud in Group of 5 in the non-Power 5 conference. You feel like you look at his stat sheet and it's like, oh, look how great he was. Kind of like Matt Landers.
Yep,
came from Toledo, right? You saw his numbers. They weren't epic, but it was like, okay, we can do something with that, and they did.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, he turned out to be pretty effective. Jaden Hazelwood, who's a former 5-star out of high school, highly rated 5-star out of Georgia, and he had an impact. So, and of course, there's Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders was big time, and you knew he was my guy. When I watched him in spring camp last year, it was like, that's the dude. That guy. That's all I wanted to talk about was Drew Sanders.
Oh yeah.
So it feels like anything close to that is going to be a huge success.
Yep.
In this portal. So I think Knox was looking for a reason to leave. That's fair. Could have been. Hashtag no Final Four.
We're changing sports.
Well, I don't know what to make of that, man. That kind of bums me out. I hope that's not something about Nick Smith. Miles Slusher just committed to Louisville. Okay. All right. Yeah, will you tease? Yeah, you freaking tease. That's right. 2 of KJ interceptions bounced out of Knox's hands. Yep, they did. One would have been a decisive touchdown, just saying, says Kelly Williams. Yeah, 2 of his interceptions were bounce offs from Trey Knox's hands.
Do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that explains the opportunities.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah.
Dadgummit will. Yeah, no Final Four. Well, all we can do is speculate now, I guess. That's too bad.
What could have been, you know?
Speaking of basketball, since he kind of already segued for us, the SEC, my gosh, the SEC took a hit. We didn't talk basketball before the show. I'm not sure if you keep up.
Oh.
Are you diehard?
Basketball's my number one.
There it is.
It's my number one.
Well, it's your number one. Listen to you talk about football, then you really got to know your thing.
Football's number 2.
Yeah. Listen, I would have thought you'd done. I would have thought you'd done my job. How you sound like you knew your thing about football, man. That's good to. That's something too. I didn't know when we were setting this up. I was like, I wonder what we're going to talk about. I hope he's into football. I hope he's into.
Oh yeah.
I know I want to talk about Black Apple, but I hope we can kind of segue into sports. And then, of course, talking to you before we went live, I was like, okay, this guy. All right, we're in good hands.
We're gonna be great.
This is awesome. Arkansas did beat Bradley, but yeah, Alabama lost to Gonzaga by 10. Arizona beat Tennessee. Kentucky went down. Missouri got a win, 10-1 for Mizzou. They've been a little bit of a surprise. Mississippi State wins by 2 over a struggling Nichols team.
But great games all around, just objectively. You're watching them. Yeah, it's tough for the SEC.
Yeah.
I think the Bradley win was huge just because of where it was played.
Yeah.
Finally breaking that little streak there. But, I mean, how disappointing. I understand why. I think Hunter Yurchek covered it. That it wasn't televised.
Yes.
Heartbreaking. We couldn't work out anything with anybody to get that televised.
And they had some great moments apparently that were not captured.
Because we're nationally prominent.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure something out.
Yeah.
It just Razor Vision or whatever they have.
Hogs Plus?
Yeah, something.
Doesn't Hogs Plus have some kind of exclusivity with the university?
Just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
But that was a good game, and I hope whatever bad news Will has for us, that's hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully he's wrong, and hopefully this is incorrect information. But
maybe it's a delay from the Brazil
injury.
Yeah. It's just that depression's just now starting to hit.
Hopefully that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
I hope so too.
I caught a little bit of the Gonzaga-Alabama game. Gonzaga led by as much as 14, I think, in the second half. It was not really you never felt like in the second half Gonzaga was going to lose that game.
Alabama team, they've had a hot streak, but it still felt to me like this could be a very streaky team. Just the way that they played. I'm a big fan of Nate Oates and what he's done over with the Crimson Tide.
It's not easy to walk in there, and everyone thinks Alabama's obviously football. Well, I think Arkansas, as of today, depending on this news, I think Arkansas is in that conversation. And the job that Muss has done has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, non-conference, it's always way too early to decide who in the SEC, because when you hit SEC play, you could be undefeated in non-conference and lose your first 3 in SEC against, so-so opponents. I mean, conference play.
Are you guys in the stadiums? Is Black Apple in the stadiums?
I know we were at one point.
Okay.
They changed some restaurant groups and things.
Okay.
We used to actually have hibiscus. I think the whole play on hibiscus pours Razorback Red really played well.
Okay, that's clever marketing right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's fantastic.
With all y'all's help, we can get back in there.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
We're gonna figure this out.
I mean, that's a perfect. I mean, just looking at that color, it truly does. And I mean, the original mascot was a cardinal after all.
See, so many things, so many tie-ins.
So many tie-ins with Black Apple and the University of Arkansas. Well, all right, man. Well, I think that's really, unless you guys have anything for us, if you guys have any questions. Oh, we got a super chat. Elvin Goley says, is Arkansas still cut out for the SEC buzz? Said, let's see, for the SEC, I think he means a comma. Then Buzz said 3 big money people turned down joining NIL, and Hogs are being outbid for coaches and players. I don't know. That's news to me. I don't know. That you'd have to have the Buzz. I'm assuming you're talking about the Buzz on radio. You'd have to have them follow up on that. It's also a loaded question to ask if they belong in the SEC or not.
Right.
And that has been an ongoing conversation since we joined. That's something my dad and his brothers talk about, all the older generation of Hog fans. When they made that jump from Southwest Conference to the SEC, it's a loaded question. I mean, how many times have they won the SEC West in football? You know, you can count on one hand. But also, you're playing amongst the best of the best in this sport. And a lot of people, that's appealing to them that, hey, we can compete at this level versus maybe being in the Big 12, which is thought of a little less. I don't know. Did you want to respond to that?
I mean, that's NIL. It's hard to make that kind of speculative argument because it's not like companies. There are some like LLCs and foundations that are like, hey, we're creating this fund, but like overall, Walmart, Tyson, those guys aren't coming out publicly and being like, hey, we're gonna pay these kind of players. Come on down. Like that's not happening. And like, if we were having a decent season or even a good season, and we saw this, maybe NIL's in play, but like, I mean, just with the struggle and some of the things that we've seen with coaches leaving and whatnot, I don't know how much NIL had to do with that, to be honest. I mean, like, Odom got a head coaching gig in Vegas, right? I mean, like, you know, should we have paid him more as a defensive coordinator? Sure. Yeah. Would he have not left to go be a head coach in Vegas? Probably not. All right. Like,
I mean, you know, those sometimes those slots kind of call your name a little bit, or the poker table. I get it. Vegas is an awesome town. Been there once. Long drive. Don't recommend it.
For sure.
Big fat guy in the back of a Subaru. Let me tell you, that was quite the trip. Would not recommend it, but yeah, if you're gonna fly, get 2 seats. If you're my size, get 2 seats on the plane and just kick back and relax. Versus being in a Subaru, it was horrible drive. God bless the people in that car though on the way there. Let me ask you this: speaking of NIL, have you guys looked into that at all? I know too, it has to be the older players, like they got to be 21 and up. At least I would imagine, right? But is that something you guys have looked into at all?
We haven't. No, haven't really got on that level yet. Not that I would be against that. It's just when you talk NIL, you're talking like typically these large companies. Yeah. Like I mean, like on the smaller kind of local level, like we have not pushed a whole lot of that, and I haven't yet, at least statewide, seen anybody break the mold for like alcohol yet. Where you
nobody has
somebody jumping into that. So I don't know if there's any sort of like regulations or rules on that.
True.
But it is something I'm very interested
That is very true, actually. Yeah, the NCAA might actually have some kind of rule or stipulation where tobacco and alcohol is not allowed. That's very true. But I think that'd be neat. That'd be a neat opportunity for that industry to kind of get involved with the NIL stuff.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Do I get envious when I see Eric Musselman go on a post conference with a Slim's chicken shirt on and think, God, he could be wearing a Black Apple shirt? Sure. Yeah.
Are you listening to this? Somebody crop this part out and tag Eric Musselman. Wear a Black Apple. Maybe this shirt right here with the hibiscus. With the cardinal, I don't know, but I think that'd be really cool to see. All right. Well, I feel like if colleges were to get kicked from the SEC, we'd be fourth. Yeah. Again, I don't know. It's just a loaded question. Talking about Arkansas being in any other conference, you are where you are or where you're at, and you just hope for the best and hope that Arkansas can be competitive, and they've shown that they can be competitive.
Yeah, and the whole jumping conferences is what if like. The big one was always the Big 12, right? Yep. Where it's like, well, what if Arkansas was a Big 12? How much would they win? It's not, as sad as I hate to say it, it's not about winning. It's about money. Yeah. And like the contract that the SEC has over everybody else, it just there's no chance that Arkansas is ever going to jump to another conference with the kind of money that the SEC is bringing in.
It's the kashish.
It is.
It's the pay. That's just the truth of it. And you don't blame them for that because you look at the facilities. Although Jerry Jones has contributed, and you've had other alumni and boosters, but you look at the renovations and some of that stuff. Some of that comes from that money. It comes from the SEC contract or SEC network contract and all that stuff. All the amenities that come with being a part of the SEC. It's a big deal. They would be crazy to leave that.
I just can't see it.
No.
Just can't see it.
Me either. All right. Well, I think we're going to end it on that. I want to thank Leo again. This is Leo Orpin, Black Apple co-founder. This was at the Odd Soul on Emma Street. Beautiful little glass there. We shared this wonderful beverage. We opened up a can. I'm probably going to open up a couple more before I leave.
There you go. You should come join us.
You should come join us. They opened today actually at 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right? I think that sounds right. Yeah.
It opens up at 4, so come on by. Odd Soul. Their pies are fantastic. Oh my gosh. I'm basic, I'll admit it, but the pepperoni it's spot on.
Oh, they have one called the Odd Soul.
Yeah.
Where they have it's like pepperoni and I think it's like prosciutto, and they put like a spicy honey on it. It's outstanding.
I haven't tried that yet.
See, you got to come down here, have a cider.
There you go.
I think they're gonna have happy hour specials as soon as they open.
They do trivia. They have trivia nights and stuff. Everything. You can go to you can go to oddsoul.com. I think I have their link actually. They have their own page in our Discord, and if you haven't, I don't know why I'm on that. But if you haven't, if you're in our Discord, go look at it. You got a link there. There's also some wonderful imagery of their menu, what they offer here. See, look at that, all set up right there. They can't see it, but
no,
you got all that set up there. Look at that. So if you guys are on, again, if you're in our Discord, go check that page out. Again, shout out to Nick. Do you want to come in here and say hi?
2 seconds.
2 seconds. He's got about 2 seconds.
One Mississippi.
That is Nick, the owner. Appreciate you for setting this up, man. All right, and again, it was nice meeting you, Sarah. This was a lot of fun, and I guess that's it. Woo pig, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Shout out to Patreon supporters as well. I appreciate you guys. Go Hogs.
Awesome.
All right. I have to manually stop this bad boy. You know what? While I have you guys, completely. This is, for those of you that are still in here, here's a quick look. Here's the quick look of the Odd Soul, located again on Emma Street in Springdale.
126 West Emma Avenue.
126 West Emma. There it is, in the front. All right, Woo Pig.